Hello viewers, my name is Eemaan Khalil and today I'm going to talk about the market economic system. So the market economic system is an economic system in which consumers determine what is produced, resources are allocated by the price mechanism, also known as the market mechanism, and land and capital are privately owned. When we talk about the market economic system, you might have heard that it's quite efficient. So let's go ahead with the advances and disadvantages of a market economic system. So let's talk about the advantages first. When it comes to the advantages of a market economic system, economists emphasize on one thing: competitive pressures. Yes, there are a lot of competitive pressures in a market economic system. You see, when we talk about competitive pressures, they really, firms really understand the significance of those competitive pressures, and as a result, they try to improve. So, one benefit of a market economic system could be choice. If there are a number of producers producing a product, consumers will have a choice of producers, and as a result, they will only go to producers who have the price they need. And now, when producers see this, they would start competing with each other in order to meet that consumer demand, and as a result, consumers would be sovereign, because they would determine what is produced, and producers will become more and more efficient. The next advantage of a market economic system is low prices. So you see, competition can either be actual or potential. When there's actual competition, there are rival firms in the industry, but when there's potential competition, there are no barriers to exit and no barriers to entry. So when we talk about low prices, you see, consumers actually have this ability to move from high price firms to low price firms. And as a result, what happens when they move from high price firms to low price firms? Firms see that consumers actually want low prices. As a result, they try to keep their cost of productions down. So they keep their cost of productions down by, let's say, lowering their inefficiency, wastages in the production process. And when they achieve that low prices, they become more and more efficient, more dynamically efficient, more allocatively efficient, and more productively efficient. Efficiency is very, very important. Efficient allocation of resources is quite important. When we go ahead further inside the market economic concept, in a market economic system, actually the market economic system itself encourages efficiency by rewarding those entrepreneurs and workers who are responsive to changes in consumer demand, and punishing those who are not. And this is indeed true. This is usually referred to as the market economic system, providing both a carrot and a stick. So you see, entrepreneurs who are responsive to changes in consumer demand have the ability to earn higher incomes, and as a result, they have this ability and incentive to innovate and expand, and this keeps on going on. Whereas entrepreneurs who are unresponsive to those changes in consumer demand don't earn high incomes at all. Their businesses are driven out of the industry and they suffer losses. When it comes to labor markets, wages matter a lot, and workers can increase their chances of getting higher wages by developing those skills that are in high demand, by, let's say, working harder, accepting more responsibility, changing their place of work, becoming more adaptable, and as a result, they can increase their wages. But if workers are unable to do this or not prepared to do this, let's say because they're sick or disabled, they would suffer like no incomes at all or receive very little incomes. Now you see, when it comes to a market economic system, there are also disadvantages, but we must remember that advantages are all based on competitive pressures. So if there are no competitive pressures, then no efficiency. Well, let's go ahead with that. In a market economic system, the price mechanism that actually is a means of allocating resources, the price mechanism is very automatic. It is used in a market economic system. It sends a signal from consumers to producers, and producers see what consumers want. When there's a shortage, the price mechanism is actually signaling from consumers to producers that more resources should be allocated to producing this product. Now the thing is that the price mechanism works very automatically, and Adam Smith, the founding father of economics, also called it the invisible hand. If you look at the disadvantages of a market economic system, it is all market failure. Market failure is when the market forces of demand and supply result in an inefficient allocation of resources. You see that in a market economic system, consumers and private sector firms may only take into account the costs and benefits to themselves, and as a result, they would not care about what happens to others by making their decisions. Consumers may smoke even if it imperils the health of those around them. Private sector firms could dump their waste material in local rivers or something like that, and this could endanger the mother nature very, very much. If we move ahead, even if there are competitive pressures, in reality, there would be very little competition. As a result, one market for a product may become dominated by a monopoly or even an oligopoly, and as a result, it would limit choice, increase prices, and of course, quality for the consumers. And even if there is competition, firms would be unable to respond to that competition. Let's say because of a shortage of skilled workers, and that is really perilous for firms. If we go ahead, private sector firms can advertise in such a way that this can distort consumer choice. Consumers can buy products that are perilous or can buy products which they're just persuaded to buy without making the proper decisions. So this can result in information failure. Consumers in a private sector, in consumers can be really put into danger by those products. When we move ahead in a market economic system, there's inequality. The price mechanism can result in an inequitable outcomes. You see, what happens is that in a market economic system, there's lots of inequality. In the 1980s and the 1990s, when economies moved from a mixed economic system to a planned economic system, from a mixed economic system to and a planned economic system to, let's say, only a market economic system, they did see a rise in consumer choice. They also saw a rise in the quality of the products produced, but they also saw a rise in income inequality and poverty. Yes, it can happen in a market economic system because you're only valued if you have skills, education, and money, and it's not that much everywhere, is it? The children of the rich have better career prospects, and they're able to get the things they need, like the resources, the books, the calculators, and they're able to increase their career prospects and make the career prospects better, where this is not the case. You see, in a market economic system, there'll be more gap in the redistribution of income. Some people may be very poor, some people may be very rich. It can result in inequitable outcomes. Now, this is unfair. In a market economic system, poverty can also rise. The elderly would find it really hard to save for their retirement. The sick, the disabled will find it very hard to receive incomes, and even the unemployed may find it very hard to find work. And if we move ahead, you see, when it comes to market economic systems, then there's also planned economic system, there's also a mixed economic system. Well, which one is the best? It might come in your mind, but the thing is that there's no best economic system. It all depends on one thing: efficiency. Efficiency is a key economic concept. If you want to assess the performance of any government, of any country, of any economic system, just look at efficiency. Well, that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching.